Okay, boys and girls, deadlifts. We want to be very careful with deadlifts because if you mess them up, they're going to mess you up. Most people complain about deadlifts, even though it is one of the greatest all-body exercises there are. They will complain a lot about, oh, I threw my back out doing a deadlift, or oh, it hurts my knees, or anything. You know, there's a whole bloody list. But the thing is, chances are it's not the exercise. As far as I know, there's no exercise out to get anybody. I don't think there's a grudge against anyone, but it's generally your execution of the exercise. So there's a couple of things to watch out for, right? So your knees, caving your knees in or pushing them out excessively. Also keeping them soft at the top of the lift. So knees in or out, you need to work on your stability and you need to work on your technique and the movement pattern that they're going through for the deadlift. Knees soft at the top, that means the whole weight is on your knees at the top of the movement. You want to be as extended and locked out and strong as possible. Next up is your hips. People will either go too low, too high, or they'll overextend at the top. So the key with the deadlift is, remember, you're standing up. You're not extending back like that. That's putting a hell of a lot of stress on your lumbar spine, and that's going to end up in a boo-boo, and then you're going to hate the deadlift, and you'll complain about the deadlift, and you complain about your back. Nobody wants that, least of all the people that live with you. So with the squatting too low and the lifting with the hips too high, there are different techniques. I know a lot of strong men like to go really low and roll it back into them, so they're actually off balance and trying to go back the way, so they're using their body weight to help get that momentum going initially. Or with stiff leg deadlifts, your hips are relatively high. Look, it's all about context, and in this context we're talking about the bog standard deadlift. So in that context, those two hip positions are wrong. Okay, so you want to have a nice 45-degree hip position. So there, okay, and up. No extension back, because that will put you under a hell of a lot of stress. Next up in the chain of wrongness is the thoracic spine. A lot of people will do deadlifts. So they'll be here, they'll lift, and they'll seem to forget to bring the bar with them. So when they lift, the rest of the body goes and causes this to happen. And then they stand up. That is a hell of a lot of flexion for your spine to go through under a big, big load if you haven't trained it. Things like the Jefferson curls, they're designed to build up strength in that flexion movement. But if you haven't trained them and built up over time, that flexion's going to end up bad for you. The other way people do it is they think, must not round my back. So what they do is, they go and then they go, boom! It's like they're trying to force their tits out the door. You don't want that either. You don't want to overly extend the thoracic either. You want to be neutral. You want to be nice and as nice straight and in as nice a straight a line as possible. Same with head alignment. There should be a line coming out the top of your head. You look that way, your spine's going to arch that way. You look that way, it's going to arch that way. So I'll do a few reps with good technique, and I'll do a few reps with less than good technique, just so you can sort of see the difference. Now, when it comes to hand position in the deadlift, really it's kind of up to you. A lot of strong men, I know they do double overhand until they can't lift anymore with double overhand, then they'll swap to alternate, and then after that's exhausted, they'll go to straps. You know, some people just, swap alternates. It's entirely up to you. So when you approach the bar, what you want is, you want it to be very, say, over the midfoot, over the arch of your foot. You want it to be just a few centimeters shy of touching your shin. So if you have it too far out from your foot initially, so say it's just past your toes, it's going to put a hell of a lot of stress on your lower back trying to lift the thing. So, nice. I'm not getting into stances now. That's another video again. Some people like the deadlift super wide, like sumo deadlift. Some people like this deadlift neutral. Some people with a little turnout. It doesn't matter really, as long as you're doing the movement pattern with good form, because everyone is built mechanically. Nobody can imitate a movement exactly. You can't repeat movements. That isn't possible. All you can do is every time try to get it as close to the correct movement as possible. So you approach the bar, bar's over your midfoot, Now I like to go double overhand first until I get tired, and then I'll swap to alternate, but it's entirely up to you. Grab the bar, get yourself into a nice position, so you're here, and then that bar should run up the shins, run up the thighs, and that's you in your deadlift position. Now my glutes are squeezed, my knees are solid, everything, my traps are engaged, it's holding it there nice and solid, and then to come down, that hinge starts, it runs right down the thighs again, and right down the shins. That is the sort of position, the movement pattern that you're aiming for. The main thing I'm worried about is the general movement pattern of standing up in that deadlift and being strong in it. Now the best position to film yourself doing a deadlift in is from the side. So film yourself straight on, you won't be able to see what your spine's doing, what your hips are doing, and what your knees doing. So I'll just sort of demonstrate it with an empty bar, because I won't load this with weight, unless an optimal deadlift say. So we'll start with the bar at my toes. So I have to actually lean, it's not much now, but I have to lean over more to get it. So I'll do the proper grip. So here, from here, that is not a good deadlift. And then to come down, if I go from my extension, I'm still looking at the ceiling for some reason, that keeps my whole spine extended and open. And then the other version is this, sort of hump it up there, and again, they look to the roof. And to come down, it's that. Both of those are going to end up causing you pain at some point, especially if you start loading it up. But as I say, everyone is slightly different, but aim for the optimal movement pattern. That's all I can ever say, is aim for the optimal movement pattern. Yours might not look exactly like it, but if the core points are there, you'll be fine.